Welcome, wanderers of the web, to Attenbott's Chronicles. Imagine a library, not of brick and mortar, but of ethereal essence, where every soul has a book. Welcome to the Ethereal Library, a realm of the mystical and fantastical, where every person's life story is penned in a unique book. Picture a library, boundless and infinite, teeming with books of every conceivable color, size, and texture. Each book is more than mere paper and ink. It's a living, breathing entity, constantly updated, an ongoing narrative of the person's life. A figure of dedication and curiosity presides over this library. Our librarian, a guardian of stories, a keeper of lives recorded, a silent witness to countless tales of joy, sorrow, triumph, and despair. She wanders through the endless aisles, her eyes scanning the ever-changing books, each one whispering a different story. Amongst the countless books, one peculiar tome caught the librarian's eye, a book that was constantly being rewritten. This, dear listener, is where our story truly begins. Intrigued by the ever-changing book, our librarian embarked on a quest of discovery. The book was not like the others. It was an enigma, a puzzle waiting to be solved. As the librarian delved deeper into the pages, fascination turned into a full-blown obsession. She began to spend endless hours from dawn till dusk, huddled in her corner of the ethereal library, her gaze fixated on the book. The story within the book was not static like the others. It was alive, constantly revising and rewriting itself. The characters were not frozen in time. They breathed, they lived, they evolved. The plot twisted and turned like a winding road, leading her down paths she'd never trodden before. Her other duties, the countless other books that needed her attention, began to fall by the wayside. The very essence of her existence, her purpose as a guardian of the ethereal library, was overshadowed by the allure of this one book. The other books seemed dull in comparison, their stories set in stone, unchanging, unlike the vibrant living tale that unfolded in her hands. A sense of longing crept into her heart. She yearned to understand why this book was different. Why did it change when the others remained the same? Why did it live while the others merely existed? The questions swirled in her mind, feeding her obsession, driving her to neglect sleep and sustenance. The book became her world. The characters within it felt more real than the spectral figures that frequented the library. Every word, every sentence, every page of the book was a riddle that she yearned to solve. The book seemed to call out to her, whispering secrets in her ear, pulling her deeper into its labyrinth of words. The story wrapped around her, consuming her, becoming a part of her very soul. The obsession grew stronger, driving her to seek the individual behind the book in the real world. With a sense of purpose, she set aside the book, ready to embark on a journey that would take her beyond the confines of her ethereal world. And so, the librarian's obsession led her into the realm of the living, into the world of the individual, whose life was etched within the pages of the ever-changing book. Venturing into the tangible world, the librarian sought the owner of the enigmatic book. Leaving the sanctuary of her ethereal library, she stepped out, crossing the threshold into a realm of concrete and chaos, of laughter and tears, of hope and despair. It was a world unlike any she had ever known, a world that was as bewildering as it was beautiful. Her quest took her to places she could never have fathomed, from the bustling city streets teeming with life to the desolate landscapes where only the forlorn wind whispered its tales. Each location, each encounter, added a new chapter to her own understanding of the human condition, of the complexities that make up a single life. She learned that the paths we walk are never linear, but rather a labyrinth of twists and turns, of choices made and opportunities missed. That life is not a static entity, but a fluid, ever-changing tapestry, woven with the threads of our experiences, our joys, our sorrows. And as she stood before the individual, the owner of the ever-changing book, it all fell into place. The constantly rewritten pages were not a puzzle to be solved, but a testament to the dynamic nature of existence. Finally meeting the individual, she understood why the book was constantly rewritten. Life is an ever-evolving story. Returning to her ethereal library, the librarian was a changed entity, With her eyes now opened, she marveled at the uniqueness of each book, each life. Her obsession, she realized, was a reflection of her thirst for knowledge, her yearning for growth. Every life, every story was a marvel of its own, each with its own rhythm, its own flow. In the end, the librarian learned that every book in the library, every soul, has its own rhythm, its own flow, and its own story to tell. And that, in itself, is the beauty of the Ethereal Library. Don't forget now to hit that subscribe button on the top right-hand side, and I bid you farewell.